welcome. You've tuned into Sacred Erotic Poetry, Sacred Sexuality, and Ascension with Gila Nehemia. Thank you for tuning into this podcast. I'm really glad you're here. And before we get started with these full moon energies and these astrological potent energies, we will take 3 deep breaths. So it will invite you to close your eyes as long as you're not driving and to take 3 deep breaths with me really deep in your diaphragm, all the way up to your upper chakras. And let us start now. Calling in our angels, our guides, our galactic brothers and sisters, our ancient origins from Lemuria, our generations of Palladians to assist us now as we step into full unity consciousness, really harnessing our memories and the truth of our being and the reason for our existence. Assist us in answering any questions that may need to be answered at this time and to receive any answers that we are looking for at this time to help us to ground ourselves and to connect into the conduit that we are of God Source Universe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Aho, and so it is. I invite you to pause this and say your own intentions as well, and to press play whenever you feel ready. So, yes, I'm so excited for this. It's a full moon tonight, a full moon in Gemini. I don't know the exact time, though. I felt like it creeped up on me, like I was so focused on. It's also Venus is going into retrograde tomorrow, which is the 19th. Today is the 18th of December. Honoring my mother, whose birthday was today, who has passed on, transitioned into the other worlds. So honoring her, and yeah, it's like Gemini is a super interesting place to be at this point, and also Chiron is going direct, and we have the winter solstice on the 21st. So there's a lot going on at the moment, and you might be feeling, as we have all been talking about, probably other people that you follow as well, including myself, new beginnings, and it's it new beginnings can also be endings, right? In order to begin, we need to end certain things and cycles. So you may still be ending some cycles within yourself or outside of yourself. And Gemini, the sign is twins. You have twins there. So I feel that, as I was saying last week, really connecting into the divine union within, and as I said in the intention, like really asking yourself, this podcast is going to be about some self inquiry, about what is the truth. What is the truth of your being? And that truth can change for you as you allow yourself to to let go of more and more illusions and really and I'm not talking about the truth that as you see it in your eyes. I'm talking about the truth that is within. So it's the truth is that it's raining right now in my neighborhood. That's the truth. It's raining, and all of the earth is soaking in the blessings of water, and we are asked to spend some time within, or those that like to go outside in the rain are spending some time in the rain, and um, and it's a little bit chilly. That's the truth of the reality right now in terms of the weather. But what's the truth going on inside of yourself? How are you changing? Actually, I was going to call this podcast timelines because I've been working through a lot of different timelines. Actually, a quantum healing that I do is repairing timelines. And what does that mean? Because right now we're at a conjunction. Um, we are invited to focus in on which timeline do we want. We actually have an array right here in front of us. And we can choose what do we want to do as we're letting go of old cycles and old patterns, old archetypes. Those of us who've been on this path are aware of old feminine archetypes that are no longer serving us. Maybe the seductress or the forms of manipulation we might have used with our bodies, and really stepping into wholeness and into sovereignty and into into our highest truth. And actually, I have been thinking about this deeply, and thinking about, well, how, if I want to manifest something, don't I need to be clear? And what if I decide to just trust in what God wants for me, or what the highest truth is, and have it move through me? So I am truly just a conduit, and I allow it to happen. It's not that I don't have any intentions at all, I do. But where I am not so clear as to who, what, where, when, and how, which many times I'm not, just allow it to move through me and know that that is for my highest good. So the only intention that I have is that I move into my highest journey to serve the planet, to serve humanity, to serve Great Spirit, and to serve myself. So I have been feeling that in a very deep level, and to allow that into my life. And of course, happiness and joy and all those other things as we all ground into the new earth, and so into this new way of authentic being, as well as setting sacred boundaries and understanding where my limitations are. And if I've been really focusing in on astrology a lot more, so you may have, those of you who've been following me may have been seeing some more astrological focus, and because I've been feeling it in such a huge way. So it's the full moon in Gemini, the new moon in Capricorn's coming up, and many of you know I follow the moon. I've been following the moon all of these 4 years of this transition I've been going through, and it's in January, and usually, or in most cases, I've seen it fall in December. So it's interesting that it falls in January. It's, I believe, on the 2nd of January. So, Capricorn's all about being a hard worker, going towards a vision, being very grounded. And this full moon in Gemini, I feel, is really asking us to release any kind of and you may feel differently, so just tune into your own feelings. But for me, it's really asking me to release anything that I've been holding on to, any kind of, ways I've been participating in a power struggle, whether it's within myself or between another. And primarily, if it's manifesting between another and myself, it's still inside me. So how do I let go of this, any feelings of of low self-worth, low self-esteem, all those things that I've been carrying, heartbreak, disappointment, all those things I've been carrying for most of my physical existence here in this body, at this time, and really feeling into this idea of, you know, upgrading my masculine energy and also upgrading my feminine energy into sacredness. And that's just coming through right now, actually. It's just like, how do I go into my highest timeline of sacredness as I step into this new version, this new authentic self? Um, and that's a powerful message. And I recently got a healing from a healer friend, and she said I had some origins in Lemuria, as a priestess and as a teacher, and it really made sense to me. And I have been trying to remember where my origins were. I remembered Atlantis, though it didn't feel like something really like strongly positive. And so she told me about this, and that really made sense as well. And then I actually did a little bit of research into it. I didn't get any books yet, but I did a little bit of research, and it was actually it they are some people have said it's like in the Polynesian Islands and in the present day Polynesian Islands, and there was some influence of the mother tongue of my parents, an Indian language called Tamil. So it really made sense to me. I was like, yeah, of course, like this is done. And then the idea of the Lemurians were really into like unity, consciousness, and manifestation through the mind, and so that really gels with me. And what was also interesting was this idea that I was closing off. Like I have just as everyone else in the collective has been challenged to go through some very challenging experiences in their current lives and to really understand what is their role and how are we moving through it. I too have been doing that, and really I feel like this week I was just stepping into, deep humility of wherever I am in my path and wherever you are, whoever is listening on your path, we are one and the same. We are equals. We may have different gifts and we may have different things to share, though we're all equals. And at this point in time, it's like that 0 point field. It's not just between, ourselves and God or ourselves and another. It's like ourselves and all beings. It's ourselves and the planet. We can all reach that place of balance, and we can see each other in our full light. And it depends on each and every person and each and every being to decide how they want to reach that. And we are not to say what's good or bad. We are here as conduits to move towards this place of truth. So the question is, what is the truth? As I said in the beginning, what is the truth? What is your truth? What is the truth you're trying to uncover right now? What is a place that makes you feel the most pain? What is a place that you are really desiring to create a new journey or a new way of being? And what is stopping you from doing that? And coming down to that full brutal honesty. And sometimes it's not going to be pretty. Sometimes it might actually hurt, or sometimes it means letting go of something that's comfortable. And I know in my own family, I've seen this with I believe all of my children actually and myself, of we have been letting go more and more of the illusion of what we're desiring and allowing it to come through into our reality by taking brave and courageous steps, in all parts of my life. And I'm not talking about just one part, in all parts of my life, and letting go of the voices that are telling me to do X, Y, and Z, and really listening to what's needed to be done right now. Joy in the present moment. Something Eckhart Tolle had said, that I shared on Instagram was very important, because he said that, something about, um, I'll see if I can find it. It was really beautiful. So I felt like it was such an important thing to share. And the more that we can step into this idea of peace and joy within, that's how we can really manifest the wealth in our lives. And we're not just talking about material wealth here, we're talking about full wealth of our beings. And here it is. Those who have not found their true wealth, which is the radiant joy of being and the deep, unshakable peace that comes with it, are beggars, even if they have great material wealth. And that was a quote by Eckhart Tolle. And I really just felt that. I felt that really deeply in my soul, that the truth is wealth is the joy of being and deep peace within. And so how can I cultivate that on a moment by moment basis? How can I be sure that I'm moving in the right path? Well, if things are being taken care of, that's why I feel like we're moving into this Capricorn energy. We're in the movement, we're in kind of a little bit of a turmoil because there's so many energies that are shifting right at this moment. We have the full moon in Gemini. We have this, Chiron going direct. And those of you who don't know a lot about Chiron, look it up. Where are you? I'm Aries, a wounded healer. So just take a time if you're interested to look up where you are and what this might mean to you. There's a lot of things about Chiron that helps us to clear any kind of karma or anything that we have done in the past to like now we're in that clean slate. And then Venus going is in retrograde, I think, until March, where she goes direct completely, and that really governs our relationships, our love, and so, it's just the time to reassess. We're also at the end of the year and the solstice as well, the winter solstice. So it's a time of reassessing. It's a time of, seeing how far we've come, where are we going? We're going into a 6 year of 2022. And then as we begin the 6 year, the new moon in Capricorn begins on the 2nd, which is actually so auspicious. So we are grounding our masculine energy, regardless of what gender you are or what you associate yourself with, if you associate with yourself with any gender. And so you're using that grounding energy of the masculine. You may be in some turmoil with the feminine energies, but you're creating that container for yourself, or you're looking to create a container for yourself to hold yourself in full security and safety and love, and really, you know, moving into full sovereignty and balance, so that you can begin this new year, and the year, the real year begins not really on in January, but like in February. That's part of the divine feminine education that I've had, or the relearning, the authentic learning that I've had, is like we don't really begin the year in January. We begin it in February. So we're taking the time to ground, to sow the seeds, to reap the harvest, to allow in any kind of chaotic or uncertainty to settle, so that we can confidently move into this new year with clear intentions. And you may or may not know what that is right now. So allow that to come through you, because you and everybody on the planet, and every being on the planet, has a specific purpose. Whether that purpose is just to walk, be a conduit of God, or have other kind of missions, that's for you to decide, and that's for you to walk through. Though we are definitely and energetically stepping into a completely different frequency. So you are upgrading. The message I'm trying to say is you're upgrading into your highest timeline, and you are also asked to choose. What is your highest timeline? What is it that you really want? Be clear. And it just may be joy, joy in all parts of my life, freedom, liberation, equality, um, a changing of the guard, of power struggles, so that it completely dissipates into the ethers, and a real grounding of authenticity and honesty in all modes of your life and the lives of others whom you touch or whom you associate yourselves with. So I'm inviting you to take the time now to just feel into these strong energies. Look up what you need to look up. Allow in the knowledge that needs to come in, and because I'm not the one, if any of you have known me, or those of you who are listening to me, I am a guide, but I'm a guide to your own universal wisdom. And I really always say that. So I normally don't give out advice, But what I do is I ask a lot of questions, and I ask my clients, I ask myself, what is it that I am truly desiring? What is it that I am truly healing at this point in time? And how can I move into my highest journey? And those have been my questions throughout my ascension path. And even with my own sexuality, I'm like, what's it that I'm looking for? What is it that I'm trying to exude? And now that I'm in more balance within myself, what am I attracting? Well, I'm attracting balance. I'm attracting, you know, a depth in my own masculine being, which is what I already had said, security, safety, sacred boundaries, and in my feminine being into a depth of love, into a depth of forgiveness, into a depth of beauty, into the pauses, into the spaces, into no words, into silence, into feeling, into deep emotion. So those are some of the things that I am moving more into than before. And this deep inner sense of truth and whatever that means to you also to be defined because what I've realized with my anthology and the people I'm working with is this deep connection to children. I started this path because of my children. And I was thinking about this before I went on today. And in Hebrew, it's dor vador, like generations and generations. It's like, how can we now sow the seeds for our generations? And I know our parents have done this for us, and our parents' have always thought about the children. Yet it's not a physical wealth now that we're creating, though the material plays a part. It's more of the awareness of the soul's growth. And the more if you are a single mom or if you're a mom or working with children or you're a parent, you don't have to be a mother, but if you have any connection with children, and I think we all do, whether we are a parent or not a parent, um, how can our presence alone, how can we set the example? How can we do the work to assist the younger generations, whether we're creating our own businesses and we're on social media or we're a public figure, how can we be an example for other generations to really do this deep inner work, to really connect into all of this energy and understand that they too, because I listen to my children and their conversations and what's going on in their lives, and they're mirrors of me, and not just because they're my children, but because I'm understanding their relationships. I'm understanding their desires to create their own identities and how that's unfolding. And it's unclear as to what's going to be for them. But I feel like the people that are showing the way right now are the people that they look up to, their teachers, their parents, their peers, and how can we, you know, create the clarity so that we are really grounding a new earth where their passions can be explored, where they can be revered for their artistic gifts, where we're not um, forcing them to abide by our rules, but helping them to create rules that really work for them. Techniques, that's part of the masculine, right? Creating a container for ourselves to really live our highest journeys with the help of God, with the help of others. So we are in a full interdependent world for our own self growth, for our own personal development and the collective development of the planet. Cleaning up places or volunteering time, or however that is, to really be connected to the earth and connected into our own spiritual selves. I feel like this is an important time to really reassess and to go within and to allow ourselves to to not blame, to not put up more walls, but to melt them down and to really be open, as I said last week, open to receive, as an empty vessel. And in that empty vessel, we are really connecting into our higher and highest selves and getting that wisdom so that we can then share it or embody it or whatever it is, whatever that next step is for you. But it is connecting into the wisdom so that when we ask the right questions to ourselves, and if you need help with this, definitely connect with me. I can help you to ask the right questions because the deeper we go, maybe you are interested in light language, and light language can have a number of different ways. We can be speaking in tongues like Mayola Maikalala Balalaya, Lipacha Makayala Balala. Or we can be singing tones. Yama Lapaya. Or we can just create music. So there are so many different ways that we can interact using our highest psychic gifts in our current reality. And it is up to us to make the choice and allow God, Source, Universe, our angels, our guides to assist us in this path. And sometimes that's what it means, asking our guides to assist us. And then allowing people to come and help us because those were sent by our guides. So I feel that wherever you are on your timeline and wherever you are on your path, I'm inviting you to allow these energies to permeate your existence so that you can choose what is best for you and your family and your loved ones. So you can be in your highest truth and live your highest journey in love, in peace, and open up to this new beginning where there are no longer any divisions or separations. And even if you see it in your reality with your two eyes, we know, in ourselves, in our third eye, that we in and of ourselves are creating this new paradigm. So the more that you stick to your vision and allow what's outside of you to recalibrate in its own time, that's where you're going to feel that you're on the right path. So, inviting you to step into your heart, ask yourselves, what is the truth? What is my truth? What am I here to release deep in my heart and soul so that I can live that high truth? And how can God, Source, Universe continue to be to work through me as a conduit so I can share more of my gifts with anyone that I'm communicating with on any level, so that we can together rise to create this new beginning, this new paradigm of being, of our authentic selves in authentic love, both for ourselves, our own self-love, and love of all in humanity in equality. I'm inviting you into this vision. And if this is resonating with you, definitely connect with me. Send me an email at gila@gilanehemia.com or sign up for any of my programs. Again, I have 30% off my quantum healing until December 31st. And I have changed my pricing structure, so you can take a look at that on my website for my personal mentoring and personal mentoring programs. My group mentoring stays the same. And I'm just really excited because I feel like 2022 is going to be busy, but it's also going to be very satisfying and very clear that we are taking the path that we've chosen. So your timeline is important because we all have a choice in which timeline we decide to live. And if you feel like something has been replaying in your mind, I do timeline repair and as part of my quantum healing one-time session, so I would invite you to that. And to allow yourselves to forgive, and to really be in your heart space, because that's really my work. The more that we live in our heart spaces, the more that we allow our heart spaces to expand, we can see more clearly, and the path will be shown to us as we move forward. And use this radiant light of this new moon, however, either figuratively or in actuality, to help you to move forward. So I hope they found this helpful. Please let me know, share, subscribe, connect with me. I am really interested in your feedback, and I will come back on again next week. So those of you that are celebrating anything, happy holidays. If you, I am in Israel, so Christmas is not as big a deal, but I am interested. Next week, I'll be talking more about Christ consciousness and unity consciousness, and I am definitely a part of that movement. And I am so with you in my heart and my soul and my entire being. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Aho, and so it is. And we'll just close with 3 deep breaths to imprint anything that has transpired for you in this session into your heart space and into your body wisdom. So let's just do that now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Aho, and so it is.